Hello folks and welcome to another game demo. This one's going to be a little different, mainly because I am in love with this game. I've played this demo more than almost any other demo I've ever played, and hopefully you'll see why here in just a little bit. It is called Mini Airways, and essentially it's a mix of mini motorways and airplane stuff and a whole bunch of other things. Like, there's a lot going on here, and it's very, very, very fun. It's also a demo that has a lot of content to it and just keeps me coming back for more. So basically what you do is you start off, you have these airports, and some of them are going to be locked by default until you reach different scores. So you can see, like on London City, which is a single runway, I got my high score is 99. But on Tokyo, which is two runways, it's 123. And I'm going to go through a couple of these, and there's a whole bunch more that this game has planned that are locked from the demo. I'm going to start off with the most basic one, and we'll play through that and see exactly what it does. Basically, we have our runway, and down here our planes will load up, and they have their locations to go to. The icons on here are a little different than what they are by default, mainly because I am slightly colorblind of red-green, and the default colors, especially the yellow and the green, are very, very close for my eye, where I can't really tell them apart. It makes the game significantly harder if you can't tell the colors apart. So I just changed them to be color and also symbol. Makes it way easier. So basically, if planes are going to line up, we have to have them take off and go to their waypoint, and once it gets there, they'll disappear. And then we have these other planes coming on, and their goal is to land. So all you do is click, hold, and drag, and point them to the airport, and they'll make their own little landing way path. As long as it is possible for them to make that turn, they will be able to do so. And as the game continues, you're going to get upgrades to the planes, to their abilities, to lots of different things here. And real quick, I'm going to speed it up. Just hit by number 2 will double the speed of the game, and that's as fast as it will go. And for the first little bit, you don't really need to go any faster than that. And once we get really rolling here, you are going to want to go back to normal speed, which is number 1. You can also pause it with the space bar. So while we're doing this, I'm just going to direct some planes around and try to get them out while they're going. Basically, they have these little bubbles around them, and if these little bubbles or shapes around them hit other shapes, game over. There's no undo buttons or anything like that. It is game over, and you really have to take into account because the planes can't turn on a dime. They do need space to turn. Like you see this plane here, how I'm vectoring it all the way out here. It needs a space to turn around and actually go in. And at the end of each day, we count up here on the top right the days. You can see it has a menu very much like Mini Motorways and what's the other one? Mini Metro. Same kind of setup as far as the user interface and a lot of things go, but again, different actions of how it takes place. So when the planes land, they'll flash and go off, and we've reached the end of day 1, which means we have some options here. We have a navigation waypoint, which allows us to customize a waypoint that we have. There's an exit, so right now we can only get one plane from the kind of the queue to take off. We have to take whatever one's in there. If we do the exit, we could take either or we could expand our airspace. I'm going to choose waypoint for this one, and I'm going to say, hey, I want all the planes that are over here. I'm going to click to place it, and then I can set the direction that I want them to go. So basically, what I'm going to have is any plane that comes in from the right-hand side is now going to go down here, where I can then take it and get it set up on the landing pathway a little bit easier. This plane we need to get going over there. That plane can take off. And we're going to get them so that they don't run into each other as quickly as possible. Now, we don't have a super crowded airspace right now, so I can land from either way. But at least in my experience, as you kind of play in and do more stuff, you're not going to want to have planes taking off and landing in all different directions. If you can kind of have them basically make a line. They come in and then they take off in one line. It makes it a little bit easier. But that's just kind of how real airports work as well. So maybe there's some rhyme and reason between that other than, physics and all that stuff. But let's go through and just see a little bit more here. I'm not going to play through a full level of this because I'd like to go through and explore some of the other options that you have because they're quite numerous, and there's different challenges for each level, which we'll talk about a little bit more in detail here. But you can see we are slowly zooming out. And as we zoom out, we gain more space to vector our planes where we need to go. It's also going to come with an increase in traffic. So right now we are at 18 planes, 19 now. It counts a plane that lands when it lands, and a plane that it counts when it takes off. So when it leaves your runway, and it'll kind of have this white circle go around it to become active. There it is. That's when it will go through and do its thing. So you can see how I'm going to vector this plane around because I don't want these two planes to interact with each other. There is no zooming in or out, so you have that. We can set up another navigation waypoint. We have expedite, which allows us to turn the planes faster, and then we can increase our waiting area. I'm going to make them turn just a little bit faster to start off with here, and then we'll figure out exactly how we want to do that. a little bit longer term here in just a little bit. So we're just going to get these planes going. A couple frustrations I have with this game. If you misvector a plane, like if I went over here but just clicked off it just a little bit, the runway is not the best example because it's sticky on the runway. And it's relatively sticky to most of these, but if you do it just a little bit, it's a little frustrating. I'd also like to see the ability to not only have planes at the same level, but maybe change their altitudes a bit, other than just landing and taking off. If we had an ability to change their altitude so there's multiple layers of planes, that would be really fun and really interesting. Okay, this is just a demo. I have no idea what the developers' plans are for this, and maybe that's something they have in the works, but that would be interesting. I'd also like to see different types of planes. All the planes are the exact same. They go the exact same speed. It would be an interesting and really challenging kind of change on the game to have to deal with that as well. Now, granted, I'm not very good at this game. I've put... how much time do I have in this demo so far? I have more than I probably care to speak. But my Steam demo, or my Steam account, last I checked, said I had about 7 or 8 hours into this game. And that sounds about right. It's a very fun game. And I still have not mastered the best way to do things, and I keep trying different stuff. Especially, I'm going to end this one here in just a sec, and we'll see. Let me just add that so you can see we do 2 planes on exit now. But what I really want to do here in just a little bit is go into some of the other levels, and I'll show you kind of what I mean when I say that the game changes or has different challenges that we have here. We're going to get close to the point where this airport's going to get real busy real soon. And there are other upgrades that we have not unlocked yet. There are waypoints that are holding patterns, so you can have planes go in circles around a waypoint, which is fun. Oops, I missed the one there. See, I still struggle with the colors sometimes and the different shapes, but that's just what I do. What was I saying? Oh, with the waypoints, there's automatic landing paths, so if I were to get a waypoint, it would automatically line those planes up to land as well, which is super cool. Right now I have to do all of the work with that, which is not a big deal. It's just when you can start automating some things, it gets more fun. So we're going to keep going just for another little bit. You can see we're zooming out a lot more quickly here, and we're going to start having a lot more planes to deal with in just a few moments here. When we get these, you see that they flash when they get close to each other, and if these circles hit, boom, there we go. It will zoom in just like Mini Metro does, and we have our stuff there. I'm going to go back out to the menu, and we're going to go into a different one. I'm not going to worry about Tokyo, which has 2 runways, but I'm going to go into Shanghai for a specific reason. This one really only adds on multiple runways, which can be a challenge. This one adds in some additional work. So let's go in and take a look. Here we are, and you can see we have this box here. And what that box means is we can't have planes go into it. It is a protected area. We are not allowed to have our aircraft enter that protected area without facing a penalty and or losing the game. So there's a couple different ways to go about playing this and seeing how they work. But you can see already that we are having more aircraft right out of the gate here. We already have 4 aircraft, 2 coming in, 2 going. And we're going to just try to make sure that we can set these planes up to land and take off and do all the things we need them to do as quickly and efficiently as possible. Basically, want to go through another day and see if we can get any of the other upgrades unlocked that I can show you. And then we'll go on to maybe one more level after that, because there are lots of levels here. But you can see that this is going to kind of start beeping here. We get a little too close to that edge. So we'll just correct that, and we'll try to come in and land from this direction if we're able to vector that tightly. We'll see if that works or not. And we might be a little close there. I think we'll be okay. Let's see. We can get you going right there. Nope, see, it's too tight, so we'll go there. That's fine. That one can go there. We're going to have you take off and hopefully not fly close to that plane.
Vector to destination. Traffic. Vector to destination.
So you can see how the kind of cathartic this is. It's just, you get the direct plane, tell them where to go, and make sure that they don't do anything dumb. But it's very, very fun to just kind of go through and get the control planes for a little while. And if you've watched this channel at all, you know that there's landing waypoint. That's the one I was looking for. This one's cool. So basically what I could do is I could set up a waypoint, let's say out here, and then point it towards this. So anytime that I have a plane come in, I can just direct it to this waypoint, and it will automatically set up the landing paths for them, which is super cool. So I'm going to put that plane going out there. This one's going to be a little bit of a tight turn from where we're at with that, but that should be okay. I'm going to send this one up there as well, even though it's definitely well out of the way, and it may cause problems for us, because what happens is you set it and forget it. And if, what was that, Rompapil, the old set it and forget it rotisserie chicken cooker thing, they actually got sued, I believe, because people were setting their houses on fire, because you're not supposed to set and forget
Clear for land.
things. It's not a good way to do stuff. So this plane we're going to try to get coming in. This one's going to land just as is. Let's
Clear
get that
for
one to go
takeoff.
out as well. And we'll get
Clear
that
for
one as
takeoff.
well out of here.
Vector to
But you
destination.
can see it, once it reaches that waypoint, it will automatically set up its landing slope. This one already did the same thing. They'll come in and land, and we can keep doing that and stacking them, and it just saves us some clicking, which is really nice. You can see they are all lined up, landing,
Vector to
and as you
destination.
zoom out farther and farther, you'll have to adjust how they're kind of set
Runway 16 right.
for what we're doing
Clear
here,
for takeoff.
because it does change the game quite a bit as we get
Vector to
more space to work with and more planes coming in. You have to really adjust what you're planning on with your planes. So I'm going to have that one go up. Hopefully it will avoid that. We'll find
Vector to
out.
destination.
I think that one will be fine. These guys are going to be a problem, I think. So I might vector this one out that way for right now, and then I'll bring it back closer once we have a chance. We'll make sure they turn a little faster, because why not? And now you can start vectoring that way, and we'll vector you that way. You're going to go over
Vector to
here.
destination.
And you can see that I'm trying to have one inbound kind of landing area and one outbound, so that,
Vector to destination.
or I should say, one departing
Runway
area
16
and
left.
one
Clear to
takeoff
land.
area for our planes, so that we kind of can balance them out a bit. So I'm going to have this guy come in. You're going to land on this one going the other way,
Vector to
I think,
destination.
but
Runway
we're going to
16
take
right.
care of that in a
Clear for
moment.
takeoff.
One thing to note
Vector
is
to
if planes
destination.
are still big like that and you have them go over top, like if I had a plane crossing over top the runway, even though it did not take
Clear
off
for
from
takeoff.
there,
Runway
or was
34
taking
left.
off and wouldn't have had the altitude of a plane that was flying,
Vector to destination.
they still will lose
Clear for
the
takeoff.
scenario for you
Runway
there,
34
or
left.
lose your streak. Because again, there's no forgiveness. As soon as you
Vector
lose
to
one, it's
destination.
over. So this one's going to be a little tight. Hopefully this guy is going to turn in quicker.
Cleared for takeoff.
But you can see it's tight. You're going on your landing. You're going on your landing. That's going to be real tight. And we got a crash. There we go. Okay. That's fine. I just want to show you one more scenario here. Maybe two. Let's go over to Dolly, I think, is one that is interesting. So we have mountains that we have to fly around. And if you fly into those, you lose. And I'm going to go back one more time here. Not restart. You go off the clock. And let me go over to the other last one here, which is Washington. Not my worst score. This Dolly is my worst score by far. But Washington's interesting because it has a red and green zone. So planes can come in from the left-hand side here, but they cannot cross over that right-hand side. This also has 3 intersecting runways, which present a whole bunch of different challenges for a whole lot of different reasons. But again, it's very fun. So we're going to go in. We'll have that guy go there. Again, we have restricted airspace on this one. So we'll see if we get any warnings about that. And then we got to figure out which runway we're going to land all these planes on to be safe and to do their thing. But you see how this guy's now going to go in there? I'm going to see if we get the points off. There we go. We got sadness. So we got those. So we have some dings against us here.
Runway 04.
But goodness gracious, there's so many ways, and this game gets so much more complicated. I don't want to make a super long video here. It looks like we're going to have a problem on the runway there. Yeah, we had a problem on the runway. I'm not going to make a super long video here, but I just wanted to kind of bring your attention to this game. If you're into this kind of stuff, with just like slight automation and management and just kind of updating things in real time, this game is perfect for you. Again, let's go back to the menu here. It is called Mini Airways. It's the Prologue version, which is the demo. The real one's supposed to be coming out sometime in Q3 of this year. We'll see what happens. But my goodness, I'm having an absolute blast playing this game, and I highly suggest you check it out. So if you have a chance, let me know what you think, and I will talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.